Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. All right, so Mike Johnson, in a true act of patriotism and transparency, has released 40,000 plus hours of January 6th security cam and police body cam footage. Conservative groups are hailing the move as a way to show that the January 6th committee's presentation of the insurrection is crumbling at its very foundations because some MAGA people are able to take 30-second clips of footage of police officers and insurrectionists not fighting each other and saying, see, perfectly peaceful. So, now before you get too worked up on it, let's face facts, right? First, the MAGA faction will go through a couple of people in the MAGA faction will go through, they'll find incidents of police officers interacting peacefully with protesters or insurrectionists and post that up there as proof that everything was fine and that was a false narrative. And the MAGA folks aren't going to fact check them. They're going to believe it, say, oh, there's the video proof. Now I'm convinced. They were convinced already. They were never not convinced. And if you showed them right after that, if you showed them a 5-minute clip showing that 30-second thing and then the brawl afterwards, they'd stop watching after the 30-second clip anyways because they don't want to see the next 4.5 to 5 minutes of people behaving badly because they don't want to believe it. So nobody on the MAGA side's view is going to change. Are they going to cement their opinions? I would put to you their opinions are already cemented. Is anybody on the left's opinion going to be changed on this? No. We know that they're cherry picking peaceful moments or innocuous moments as opposed to showing the whole deal. What about independent people? How are they going to look at it? That's the question I want to find out. So we don't need to look at the extremes on the right. We don't need to look at folks on the left. What we want to find out are people who were undecided, how they're going to view it. Now, the key thing here is they have to have critical thinking skills because they have to understand that probably they're seeing some select images that have been cherry-picked. Okay? Entertainment purposes only. How is this release of tapes going to impact independents, undecided people regarding the January 6th? Okay, there's going to be agreements. I think these people, they'll talk. They're open. They're open to seeing what's going on here. Now, are the cups poisoned? Are they drugged? What are they going to decide out of this? But think of this as them being open-minded. Knight of Cups. Okay, watching people moving forward with passion. Or this can also be who's being your real friend and who's being a false friend. So it's up to them to make their mind when they're watching the information. Is there cherry picking going on? Now you could say, oh, there's cherry picking on both sides. Yeah, there could be. Sure. I mean, if you gave me those 40,000 hours, I could pick the most violent moments possible. Or you could do like a time lapse of one camera and just watch it go over time. It's kind of like watching the tide come in or something along those lines. But I think they're going to look to see who's being sincere with them. Underneath it all, you got the Two of Wands. They're getting ready to make up their mind. This information's coming out. For the ones that'll watch it, they'll watch it and they'll make up their mind off of what they see. Okay, so in the past we have the Ace of Wands. This is the riot. That's a pretty good card to describe a riot and an insurrection at the Capitol. And so we all know what happened. As much as the far right is trying to paint this as a peaceful day in the park, it was anything but. Current situation is the Emperor. I think the independents are going to want to know who was in charge, who was responsible for doing what. They know that Trump was at the Ellipse doing the speech, commanding his people to go and fight on this one. They might have heard Nancy Pelosi controlled the police, and it's up to the media and it's up to people to get the real narrative out there that That's a false flag type story. Probably more about Trump than anything else. Strength. Okay, they have to use their critical thinking skills. They have to look at stuff they don't want to look at and basically make up their mind as to what they're seeing and who's being sincere with them. And they have to weigh what it is that they're seeing. What's valuable, what's not valuable. All the testimony about it, all the testimony of the cops, all the videos that they've seen versus what's now being released in shorter clips, in narrower scopes. Outcome is the Page of Swords. I've got some inverted cards here. Outcome is the Page of Swords. Some people may change their mind and think that this was peaceful. I think many of them, though, they're gonna what they saw on January 6th is what they saw. They've seen clips and they've seen testimony. They've read stories. There might be a small number of people that change their mind with these videos. It's not a big number. And, again, these are people that are on the fence, so you would expect them to be changing their mind anyway. Or some of them, if you're on the fence, you're going to fall on one side or the other. And some will fall on the wrong side of the fence, but I don't think it's going to be many. I think more of them will fall on the, that was a riot, that was an insurrection, that wasn't very good side of things, than will fall on the side of, it was a peaceful protest. Anything else I want to throw on that? Yeah, let's just throw a little four-carder. Will this backfire at all on the Republicans? And one of the things is that Tucker Carlson already got all this footage, and he had it for a couple weeks, and he put together a pretty lame presentation. Are we really worried that when you release all this footage to people that they're going to do any better than Tucker Carlson did? The best that they're going to do is throw up 30-second clips on X or Truth Social to show how everything was peaceful. In the end, does this really make a difference? Yep, it's up for people to decide. Watch and learn. I think more people are going to decide one way than the other during that topsy-turvy time. Nine of Pentacles. There's that Two of Wands again that was on the bottom of the deck. People are, they're going to watch. They're going to make up their mind. And are they going to... And here's your QAnon. Here's your QAnon stuff underneath it. A lot of, QAnon's going to have a field day with all this footage and come up with all sorts of new conspiracy theories. And I'm not actually, as I'm saying that, I'm realizing when I was looking at the articles, QAnon and extremist right-wing conservatives are already coming up with all new conspiracy theories on there. But in the end of the day, people are going to evaluate what they see. They're going to watch it. They're going to evaluate what they see. And they're going to look at their values and what they want, what they value, what they're going to do. Again, some people might fall here and say, it looked pretty peaceful to me. But others are going to say, a bunch of people went to jail over this. And now you're going to get a bunch of crazy, whack conspiracy theories. And the funny thing with the conspiracy theories, they're all going to contradict each other. The Nine of Coins over here, and I think this is just going to be Congress or something along those lines. This is the Capitol building and how nice it was. And they're going to be watching people trash it. Taking something that we had that was really nice and then just smearing feces all over it. And it's gonna make them mad because it's like, why can't we have nice things? How come this thing had to happen? I think it's going to charge at people's emotions, and it's going to remind them about the insurrection. There's your narrative right there. Let's throw on that one. Last one. before Carter will end this one. Will the release of this video rile people up? This is like a wound that's been scabbed over, and now you're ripping the scab off again on it. For people that were Democrats and people with critical thinking skills who saw what happened in the government that day. And I remember what I was doing that day. I was reviewing complaints, and I had a couple of my coworkers message me on Teams saying, "Hey, have you seen what's happening in the Capitol?" I said, "No, and I've been busy. I've been doing all this work." I said, "Don't watch," because they knew how I would react to it. And I worked a long day that day. And when I was finally done and I saw the news and I was watching video clips, I remember the first word that came out of my mouth under my breath was sedition. And I said, this is sedition. And the funny thing was, I didn't know what that word meant. I kind of knew what it meant, but I said it with such conviction that I actually looked it up to see if I used it in a proper way, and I did. So there's your past life thing right there. David the Diplomat. My name probably wasn't David. Who wants to alliterate their diplomat with David? President Peter. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yes. Will this stir up people's passions and get them motivated to push back against these false narratives that are invariably coming out? There's going to be a lot of sorrow and grief. Yeah, this is opening up people's... This is opening up wounds that people have, kind of shut down, and they're going to watch it again, and it's going to just be disappointing. I'm not seeing necessarily anger with this one, but they're going to watch this again, and it's going to be like suffering, trauma all over again. Got the Fool card, Justice upside down, and the Queen of Swords with the Two of Cups. Now, I normally don't read cards upside down. I think, though, I will in this case. This is the injustice. They're going to be disappointed because of the injustice at all. We were supposed to be bringing in a new president of the United States, and these people were just trashing on the place. And now they have to make a decision. Trump was the president on the way out. Do we want 4 more years of this guy? And I think it's going to motivate people again to come together and say, we cannot let this happen again. 3 cups down, 2 cups up. Here's your 2 cups. And here's these people saying, yeah, we're going to work together on this one. Going to have the blue team and the independents. Young people. These are the people that, that were, the Democrats will show up, but these are the people that may or may not have shown up. By releasing these tapes, they're going to motivate people to show up again. It's because they're just shoving it in your face. And that's going to be too much for some people to handle. And it's going to motivate them to roll up their sleeves, get angry, and say, not again. Okay, so give the QAnon crazies and the right-wing ultra-conservatives and extremists, they're going to have their fun in the sandbox with this. But this is a short-term play for them. This is not going to be the long-term play. This is not going to be the long-term victory or flex that they think it is. I think this is going to blow up spectacularly in their face. But they'll never see it. They will never see it happening because what it's going to result in is people voting in high numbers between the assault on women's rights and, the threat of having something like this again. It's going to cause people to get out and vote and, vote like their democracy and their lives depend on it, because they probably both do. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to new viewers. Those new viewers, welcome to the channel. Hope you found this insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.